What's going on today is that my advocate at this organization, I reminded her that she did state that she would follow up with the police department if they weren't investigating crimes. She started an argument and she said that she was teaching me how to advocate for myself and I needed to call on my own. And she needed me to set up an appointment with the people that were covering for crimes and to see why they were doing it. This is her feedback. This is how my help is railroaded to bought off and paid people. So, as an advocate, she believes that we need to have these same people that did Casillas badge number 1538, Hemage 1544, that would not let me tell her someone pulled a gun on me. That is her best advice as a legal advocate, to call crooked people and see why they won't help and on my own. So I reminded her in her job description, and other parties told me that she would call and call the police department and see why they weren't. None of them would investigate my abuser. I told her about the police corruption. She has to teach me how to advocate for myself. She is not. They promise they're not in cahoots with someone that's sending me death threats. That would be criminal. But she needs to teach me how to advocate for myself, not doing her job task and calling the police department for me and advocating for me, knowing that I endure psychological abuse, calling them. Some kind of way they're furious at someone that's getting death threats. They promise, the police department promises that they are not on this man's payroll because that would be a crime, even though they have emails saying that they are bought off and paid in full. And that's what it looks like to me. The shelter has emails saying that they allow him to control them, someone that is sending me death threats, including domestic violence organizations. So let's see how this goes. Yes, I needed some direction. I was told to call and see what time Casillas badge number 1538 and Hemage badge number 1544, what time they work.
Okay, you're trying to see what time they do work?
Yes.
Let me see what. Oh, give me 1 second.
Okay. I just needed to know what time they work. I'll get direction after we finish talking, but we can start with that.
Okay.
What times they work?
So, Officer Casillas, he does work on this shift. He should be on nights. So he would work 7 to 7 p.m. to a.m. He should be working tonight, but he is scheduled off tonight. I'm not sure if he'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
But today is considered Monday, so he would work today through Tuesday.
Okay. And Hemage?
Officer Hemage is going to be on the other side of the shift, so today is her first day off. When they come back, she should be on days, so she'll work 7 to 7 during the day, and she'll be on day shift, so her first day back should be Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. And when if Casillas doesn't work, what would he be? What would be his next day?
He doesn't work tonight. He may be in tomorrow. He should be working tonight. He's just scheduled off. I'm not sure the reason why. But he would be working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
And if he's not working that time, because you don't know, when would he be working again?
He would be working tomorrow that same time.
Okay.
So he'll be working to, his shift is from today to Tuesday.
Okay, I have another question. I'm having some legal issues and some problems with police. So if there's integrity issues with police, what are the stages to solve issues?
To file a complaint against an officer.
I'm just seeking if there are integrity issues with the police, and you're reporting a crime. What are the stages to get something resolved?
So if you were having some integrity issues, then we could have you speak to a sergeant. If that issue isn't resolved with a sergeant.
Okay, one moment, just one moment. Let me get something. Okay, so what happened was I was showing Jay Schubert how I was in this new location and a court concocted that dismissed charges were charges again. Courts are bought off and paid to do strange things like this. So my abuser, any way possibility he has, he puts cases on me. So I reported to Jay Schubert and I showed evidence of, I sent him the death threats I was trying to report and how I got arrested. I showed him corruption with my attorney and all kind of other corruption, and how I believe my abuser was influencing people to railroad and sabotage my life, and he's not responding. I also informed him that I have death threats, and there was a witness reporting that my phone would repeatedly malfunction. It appeared that it was being monitored, and not only would my phone malfunction, her phone malfunctioned as well. He denied all investigation for it, which is criminal. Tampering with evidence is a felony. So, some kind of way, all police departments that I've been to, I'm with me reporting crimes, deny investigation when it's authentic crimes. So I'm not quite certain on why, all domestic violence organizations exclude me from the assistance that they give other parties, to support me with going back and forth with the police department and in legal direction legally. Have been excluded from that. But here's the problem: if I'm authentically reporting crimes, why would the police department repeatedly cover for it and not let me report crimes? Why
See,
would they
I
trap
understand.
me into getting death threats and not investigate it?
I understand. Give me just so I would have no knowledge on that subject. The only thing that I could do is direct you to our shift supervisor, one of our sergeants that were there, that they could speak on that topic.
Okay, what's the
And if
sergeant's name?
you, we have two sergeants. Or let me see. I don't know.
So
The
you
sergeant on
you
shift right
said
now
speak
is
with a sergeant,
Mr.
and what about a chief?
If you would like to speak with the chief, our chief
I
is
did
going to
send
be
the. I don't know if my email's hacked. I'm sorry, cars are coming by. I don't know if my emails is
that's
hacked.
okay.
I sent the chief all of the situation too, and I sent him the reports I made that I'm being denied investigation on. So
Yeah, I'm not sure that the chief's office is in a completely different building than we're in. We're just dispatchers, so I'm not an officer or anything like that.
should one call
Um,
me, because I want to get down to the bottom of why I would be denied investigation for my abuser reporting my abuser, him sending me death threats and hacking my device. That's serious.
I understand the frustration. If you were wanting to speak to the chief is in during the weekdays, so Monday through Friday. He doesn't do patrol like our patrol
What's the
officers do.
chief's name?
Um, it's Chief Young.
Young, do you have? Yeah, that's why I sent the email to, and it was ignored.
See,
And I
I don't work in that office, so I don't know how their email system goes or how it's regarded. If you wanted to go up
That
there and
was
speak
like a week,
and
maybe a
chat,
week and a half ago, that I sent him emails of the corruption, and I sent him emails that I was reporting my abuser, and evidence that Austin police also cover for death threats, and he took my freedom trying to report it. And then I go to another location, flee, and then he's just buying off all police departments. So what's the point of me
I understand. So
repeatedly? I'm not
the
able
only
to
thing that we
speak.
can do
I'm
today
not able to
is
speak. But
we
what's the
have
use of
our
him buying
patrol.
off each police department to leave me in his abuse, fleeing location to location, and no one's doing anything about the problem, repeatedly covering for
I
him?
understand,
So
ma'am. I
when I
understand.
move, all police departments. I'm
I
just
have
trying to
no
get
authority to
direction. I'm
change.
just trying to get direction. If it's really hard, because when police are committing crimes, they repeatedly get away with it. So if they're
The only
taking
thing that I
bribes,
can
which
do
is
today
criminal,
is
I'm
I
not
can
quite
either
sure how to
direct you to
combat
our
that, because
sergeant
I'm
who's
interrupted
on shift
talking
right
each
now.
time I'm trying to report it.
Ma'am, I'm trying to let you know how I can direct you today. The only thing that I can do is I can either refer you to the sergeant who's on our patrol. He can speak with you, or I can let you know that our chief and higher ups are going to be in Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 in the office if you would like to go to the police office to see if you can directly speak with the chief.
I'm
I
not
have
quite
no
certain on what
knowledge
to
to
do,
how
because
they run their emails or
my
anything
advocate
like
here is
that.
demanding that I speak with problems. It's been a pattern. I keep being networked to bought off control people for some reason.
Ma'am, I
They
understand
promise
that.
that they're not
I
being
have no
controlled,
authority
but
to help you in that
I'm
situation, so
just
I
trying
don't
to,
know
if you
what you
can,
would like
since
me
you
to
see
do.
that this crisis is serious, if you can just, hear me out, and then we can see the best way to handle it.
No,
So
I understand that.
I'm not
Those are
able to
just
speak on
my authorities as far
all
as
my calls,
dispatching
and I don't know why when
officers.
she called the police department, she took it off speaker to talk privately about me. That happens a lot of times, and it makes me feel like I'm a child or I'm being violated. So my
I understand.
advocate called the police department to talk about me and excluded me from their conversation. But
I
you
understand.
won't let me
I
speak,
can't do
ma'am.
anything as far as investigation. The only thing I can
I'm
do
not
is
able to
direct you
speak
to
for you
our
to give me
sergeant. He's the
direction
only
on
one
what I
that.
need to do. I'm not able to speak. And a lot of my calls, this is psychologically abusive. If you know the critical nature of my situation, can you please let me speak?
Ma'am, there's just nothing that you explaining your situation to
I
me
just,
is
I don't
not
think
going
that
to
all
help you
women
in
that are in
any way.
domestic violence crises gets treated like this. and deprived of any direction on how to get situations resolved and can't speak repeatedly over and over. I think that people are being influenced. I don't think that other women get treated like this. I think that people are paid off to treat me like this.
And I can assure you that I've been paid off by nobody.
Well, you're not making sense. I'm calling the police department and you won't let me
I,
speak. And I
ma'am,
can't
I
get answers or
understand your
direction because you
situation.
have excuses on your covering, validating your misconduct, as well as an army
Ma'am,
full of other conspirators. If you won't
I'm
let me speak, you
trying
don't have to do your
to
mandatory
explain.
reporting or get charges for. What's your name?
My operator number is 8705. I'm not at liberty to discuss my name to callers.
Okay. So can you direct me with someone that will let me speak? If I'm trying to get the different channels. I told you about the police department getting bought off and paid each location
I
I'm at,
understand.
and you did not want me reporting that, so you changed the topic and spoke while I
That
was speaking.
that is not what I stated. You can make a report for anything you wish. I just stated that I am not an authority that can report those
But I'm trying
instances.
to expose to you that there's police corruption, and I wanted avenues to be. Is there an internal affairs?
I understand that. I am not in the
Or I
police.
just you're not you haven't been
I
informed if
don't
there's
have
an
any
internal
option
affairs?
to send you there.
Do
I
you
can
have
give
any
you my
knowledge of internal
sergeant, and
affairs?
that's it.
Do you have any knowledge of internal affairs?
I know the police department has a human resources and internal affairs department, but as far as their hours they work or who works in those departments, I do not.
Okay, so you are dispatched and you have not been privy to any information on internal affairs or what to do when there's police misconduct and criminal activity. I've noticed for almost a
My
10-year
direct
period
instruction
that
is
it's
to
been
report to
impossible
my
to report
sergeant.
crimes the police were committing, putting me in jail 20 plus times trying to cover for crimes that are being committed. And all these years, no one it's been impossible to report wrecked up felonies by government officials. It cannot be done. And no
I'm
one
not
has
saying
any
that it
knowledge of
cannot be
how to
done. I'm just
report criminal activity from government officials taking bribes to
I
conceal
understand
crimes.
our human resources department and internal affairs department are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. There's nothing that I can do further in that matter as far as directing you to them.
Okay,
The
so
only
can you repeat that? You
for
said
you
internal
today,
affairs was open when?
our internal affairs division as well as our investigations and our main administrations are open from Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, as well as the rest of the police department. If you are looking to get in contact with the police, he is also in typically during those times unless he has other obligations. So if you were wanting to speak to any of them, you can call the police department during that time and we
Oh, I
can
didn't
direct
hear
you
that
over.
earlier. Thank you for that direction. And I'm not quite certain. I did try to report to Himage badge number 1544 that I believe these environments are being influenced. It just really didn't make a lot of sense for her not to want to escalate it beyond crooked people and want to contact internal affairs and advocate for me. Why would she want me to contact people that are clearly corrupt as an
I'm
advocate?
not able to speak on an officer's
Well,
decision.
no, it's
I'm
for
not
the
located in the
organization, and
where
I
they
tried to
are.
report to Himage that I believe these locations are being influenced, but there just doesn't. I'm not an advocate, but I just don't really see why we would make appointments with people that are bought off and paid and covering for
I
crimes.
understand. Like I said, you
Okay,
can
but
talk
that's
to
how my
the
help has
patrol
been.
unit. You can talk to the patrol unit supervisor. I do have a sergeant on duty. He oversees all of our patrol officers, such as Officer Hemmage and Officer Casillas. If you are having issues with either of them that you think need to report to their supervisors, I can get you over, or I can put a call in and have him contact you.
What's the name of that party?
His name is Sergeant De La Rosa. He's a shift
Okay,
supervisor.
I can try that one because I tried Schubert, sent Schubert the crimes, and he ignores it. He saw conspiracy with how
Okay.
court officials were committing crimes and will not respond.
Well, Sergeant De La Rosa is currently on a call right now. Is there any way that I can take your name and phone number and have him give you a call as soon as he clears off that call?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Sergeant Ryan, Detroit Police Department.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, I can help you.
Yes, if someone is reporting, I have an abuser and that's sending me death threats, and I'm just curious on why I'm being denied law enforcement. I have the death threats in the email. They denied me investigation, and it's been happening years that no police department will investigate my abuser.
Who's denying what? When have you made these reports?
Let me give you the report number. I made it with Casillas, and then I made one with Himage. Uh, Let me give you the report number. Just one moment.
Was that recently, within the past week or two, or month, or how long
Yes,
ago?
yes, it was recent.
Okay. Have you received a follow-up call from the investigator?
No, that's what I'm reporting. I was told that it won't be investigated. And for
Uh,
years, they will refuse investigation of this man that I keep trying to report. All police departments I've ever reported him to.
well, as far as patrol officers, we take the reports and we pass them up to the detectives. But once they get out of our control, I can't
That's
decide
what the
who.
excuse that they've been using years, but I'm not really understanding if someone is reporting an abuser in crimes, why would the police department refuse deny investigation? I thought that denying investigation was criminal when someone was authentically reporting crimes. I didn't think the police department could take bribes and have that right to repeatedly do that. So what I'm trying to do is to get a clarity on why I'm reporting that someone is saying that they're going to kill me and armies full of locations cover for it. How that's
That,
terroristic threats. Why would the police department not investigate this man saying that he's going to kill me and repeatedly mistreating me and setting up others to do so?
right.
Isn't
Well,
that criminal
obviously,
to deprive me? You're a sergeant. Isn't that a crime to see someone getting death threats and for armies full of conspirators to allow that to sit and deny investigation year after year for something as serious as someone saying they're going to kill another party?
if our investigators look into the past, they not follow up.
No, I was
They have
told that I was told, and my domestic violence representative was told that it would not be investigated, even though it was authentically a crime. And someone sending me death threats is serious, and reporting an abuser that's saying that he's going to kill me. I just don't have any clarity on why the police department would repeatedly cover for something serious like that.
yeah. That's
I do
course.
have emails stating that you guys were taking bribes and you're bought off and paid in full to cover for his crimes, and he's protected, and
Yeah, I
I'm
think the
powerless.
best course of action for you right now would be come down to the police station during the regular business hours and speak with a detective to see what more information. That way, they can have a clear understanding of what's going on, and you can provide that evidence towards them. And then,
Okay.
since it's during business hours, whenever you come down here, if you feel like it's not being handled properly, you can
I mean, you're a
contact me.
sergeant. You're a sergeant. That's why I escalated to a sergeant.
Right?
What was
Yes.
your name again?
Reyes.
And
R-E.
okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Are
Like I
you?
said,
What was
come
you were
down.
spelling your name
Oh, Reyes.
and your badge
Reyes.
number?
1320.
Okay, what is missing? If someone is getting emailed a death threat, I'm going to shoot you in your head, poison you, assassinate you, snipe you. Where's the disconnect on getting an investigation? How does it not qualify?
I do not know what they're lacking because I don't have that
What
report
could
in front of
if
me.
you're getting emailed death threats, there's no possibility to be lacking anything. It's in an email. The only thing that appears to be a red flag that these emails are true and you guys are paid off and trying to protect them. There's how can anything be lacking if someone gets an email saying I'm going to shoot you in your head, poison you, assassinate you, and then someone offering me a drink, and then 10 minutes later I'm getting an email and saying if you get a drink it'll be your last. That's cyberstalking with the witness there collaborating my story and
And
other kind of issues. Say this man said that he wanted each time we talked about this man, my phone, the software would disappear, and then I go show it to the shelter as evidence, and they multiple different parties said they didn't know what they were looking at, so they couldn't be a witness. They refused to be a witness of a whole bunch of different things that they witnessed. But I'm just
right.
sure, what are you needing for it to be an investigation? Why is it not clear cut if someone is saying, I'm going to shoot you in your head, I'm going to assassinate you, the police are bought off and paid in full, all of this in an email with the email address? What could you possibly be lacking to do an investigation?
Well, it appears to me that they already did an investigation. So that was
Oh, so doing a report with no investigation to find out where these emails are coming from, saying with someone saying they're going to kill me, is to get doing a miscellaneous report so it never gets investigated. That was an investigation?
that. Do you have that case number?
Just one moment, let me get that. I found the report number. So for the terroristic threats and my phone being hacked with the eyewitness testimony, and then there's another witness that saw it, 2502 4349. And there's another witness from years ago that I have a text message right now saying that her phone would malfunction, and she witnessed my phone malfunction. So it shows a history of crimes being committed with my phone with
Can you give me that
witnesses.
case number one more time?
2502-4349.
Okay. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay. I'll look into this matter and you said you had talked to an investigator already?
No, they told me that I was being denied investigation. My advocate called and they said that they would not be investigating any of my reports of someone saying they're going to shoot me in the head, emailed to me with the IP address and all that, with the person's name on it, and all kind of other crimes being committed, and eyewitness testimonies that showed that I was being monitored on my device. Several witnesses that seen it, and their phones malfunctioning that are connected to mine. The other party that I have text right now saying that her phone would malfunction too. A car sped up like it was going to hit her. She stopped being my friend. I reported it to Fort Worth police 3 times. They never would investigate it.
Where do you stay at right now?
I don't know why we're deflecting in the area that I called, this area.
Okay, in front of you, so we can look at your phone and look at the emails.
Right. That's what. Then I reported to Hemage that I believe places are being influenced because in this new location, my abuser has no ability to set me up when he's upset. So they dismissed charges that I was released from jail for the same death threats that this police department covered for. Those same death threats, I was arrested reporting it and violated in jail. Okay,
Okay.
so that case, the case was dismissed and I was released. I believe my abuser was mad and bought off this court to make another case on those dismissed charges. So I reported that to Himage and gave her other evidence of corruption and other criminal activity, and she deflected when I was trying to report where someone pulled a gun on me and pulled the trigger. Thank God it was no bullets, and the police department covered for that. I've come to realize that this man was a gang stalker. I didn't know he would come in multiple different environments. Like, for example, I was trying to get some clothes from an organization, Woman Clothes. Him and 3 other people took off woman's clothes, and I couldn't get any, and he would follow me around and do strange things. So I've come to realize that this man that pulled the gun on me was a gang stalker. They were in the same environment. The police department went and investigated. Someone put glass up under my tent. I had petty thefts of things, and Black Widow spider was in my tent. So I just had a lot of strange things. He stole certain things from me, which was odd. He, like, for example, I had a brand new suitcase. Well, it was brand new to me. It wasn't exactly new. So he took the suitcase from in front of my tent because I was blacklisted from our shelter. So he took the suitcase from in front of my tent, told me I could have it back. It was filled with grass. Why would someone get grass and put it in my suitcase? So since it was filled with grass, grass gets everything. I didn't want my clothes in that. So it was ruined. So each time I get new things, these people would target me and take my things. Like when I had different things, chairs and stuff outside, they take it, but they weren't stealing things from other parties. So I so I realized that this man, I was being gang stalked, and I also got attacked in the same community by another party that behaved odd and would show up in different locations. The police department and people in that community covered for this man attacking me, and I wrestled him down to the ground because I knew I was getting gang stalked and it wasn't being investigated, and I needed my phone that was vital. So we wrestled and fought to the ground right in front of cameras for me to keep my phone, and he eventually got it. So the police department covered for it on camera footage, would not investigate D Coffee, the same man that came to 7-Eleven out of nowhere and threatened my arrest for trying to buy a cup of coffee. It got so out of control with unusual experiences like this, I started recording and documenting it because I knew it wasn't realistic. So I'm just trying to show you evidence of mysterious things and some kind of way people don't want to capitalize off of mental illness when things are repeatedly recorded.
Right. What I recommend, if you want to speak to an officer or several officers, that way you don't think we're, doing anything suspicious.
Well, here's the thing. You have a report right there. I said that government officials are being influenced. That's why I went into all those details. Why would Off D Coffee come to a location and interrupt me buying a cup of coffee and threaten my arrest? It's uploaded to a YouTube channel. Why would D
Right.
Coffee let someone wrestle me down to the ground and take my phone? And multiple other parties cover for it. This is the environment I'm forced to live in.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to go. I have another call.
I have questions. A lot of people have to go. That's a pattern for me. When I'm trying to get things established, it appears that the parties that I'm allowed to speak with don't take my life seriously because they have to go when I'm trying to get clarity.
Have a good day.
Are you there? Have a good day. He hung up. So it is criminal to take bribes. The police department is bought off and paid in full, which is criminal. What is going to be done? So let me try to call the FBI.
Thank you for calling the FBI. Please allow me a moment to verify some information. What
Okay.
is the spelling of your first and last name?
I'd like to be anonymous right now.
All right, ma'am. It says you provided a date of birth.
That is,
All right. And then, ma'am, it says you provided a phone number.
that's correct.
What is that phone number?
That's correct.
All right. And just to be sure, you said you don't want to provide.
Not at this point.
Not at this point. All right, that's all right, ma'am. It says you have provided the city of Victoria.
You there? You there?
Yes, ma'am. I said one.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, 1 moment, please.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
So,
Can
no, one moment, please, because you already provided the date of birth and such. You can be anonymous. Have to provide that first if you want to. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you there?
Yes. You can't hear me now. You're not muted. You can't.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is a scam that's been going on a long time.
Okay, what are you calling to report today?
Yes. I have questions. So I did hit the button for a complaint.
Okay, ma'am, what are you calling to report today?
Is this the complaint line?
This is the National Threat Operations Center with the FBI.
Okay. And what was your ID number?
My ID number is 58129.
Do you give names?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I don't know how to do a complaint because I hit the button for a complaint line and I've been trying to do a complaint for a long time. For years, almost a decade.
Ma'am, I am with the FBI. If you have something you would like to report, you can do it here now to me.
But I pushed the button for a complaint. Why am I being robbed of the ability to do a complaint like it says you can do online? Or like it says that I can do on this automated system? Why am I being robbed of a complaint for almost 10 years?
Okay, ma'am, you're not being robbed of a complaint, okay? Do you have something you would like to report?
Yeah, I wanted to do a complaint. Am I being heard?
Okay, ma'am. I am documenting.
Oh, the complaint?
What would you like to say? What would you like?
Okay, so with
Sure.
the complaint, what's the complaint process when you do a complaint? How's it handled?
Ma'am, I cannot speak for what will or will not happen with this information, but I can tell you I will document it on my end.
Okay, so you can do a complaint with the FBI and they ignore it and don't give any kind of validation they received it or any email or any kind. I'm asking a question. Am I able to ask questions? Because people are so combative when I'm trying to report crimes and do complaints.
Ma'am, thank you very much for calling the FBI. Have a great rest.
This is how you know something's wrong. For 10 years, they robbed me of the right to do a complaint. She hung up. Department of Justice recovering for crimes. These are felonies that are repeatedly just hijacking my phone. Said they know it's countless felonies, so they come. 5, 6 police have came deep to make sure these government officials and armies full of government officials don't get felonies they chose to rack up. So this is how it's been. I don't know how many patterns will equal an arrest.